Ireland against Argentina, folks. Goodness gracious me. 22-19. Right down to the death this match goes. Argentina could have won that. Ireland looked like their former selves, especially in the first half, but didn't score any in the second. Penalty count remained very high from an Irish point of view. Boy, were the Argentinians good at the breakdown and on defence, and we have as many yellow cards as we do tries in this game. 4 tries, 4 yellow cards. Penalty Paul is what my dad calls Paul Williams, the referee for this one. But we'll go through some key events and some stats of the game. You guys can let us know your thoughts. Are Ireland back? I wouldn't say yes based on this one, but they showed glimpses of it in the first half. And Argentina are a side which can absolutely roll anybody. They certainly are. And they actually backed up with a pretty decent performance 2 weeks in a row. So there's a little bit of consistency from the Argentinian side, despite the fact they didn't come away with a win. They were very close. They were very close to scoring the first try of the game as well, the Argentinians. Like, they couldn't escape their own half early. The Irish guys charged them down a couple of times as they were trying to exit. And Ireland, with all that relentless pressure, looked to have kind of coughed the ball up and sent the Argentinians up the field on the counter play, which Argentina have showed they are very good at, hitting teams on the break. But that one gets chalked off. First TMO intervention comes very early. There is a Maroney kind of head-on-head contact with Crowley, which sees the try chalked off and sees Maroney yellow-carded. The ref and the TMO had a wee chat about whether he is low enough to kind of mitigate the action down to not foul play, because remember, not all head contact is necessarily foul play if you are still kind of in a legal position. They eventually come to the conclusion that Maroney is still too upright. He's not very upright. He's quite bent, and Crowley is also very low when they hit each other. Well, when Maroney hits Crowley. So it's a rough one. I think he is slightly coming up, but he's not real like upright in the sense of like you see some guys literally come into it basically full standing. So it's a rough one for the Argentinians, and then the Irish double down by scoring 2 tries immediately into the Maroney yellow card. One through Crowley. It's a nice line-out move. Kelleher goes close, and then Crowley from the next phase with a nice kind of shimmy from Gibson Park's pass. First test try for him. Well done, 7-0. And then the second one, not too long later, Ringrose with the line break. It's just a drop pass as Ireland got the ball. Pass hits the ground. Ringrose picks it up. Sometimes when there's those bounce passes, slight hesitation from the defence. Ringrose doesn't need a second invitation. Line break into the Argentinian defensive line, and then they're able to finish it off with kind of wide ball from Gibson Park to Byrne. He probably could have finished it himself, but he popped it inside to Hansen. So, yeah, 12 points to 0. Ireland, certainly a team to punish that initial yellow card, although they did give away a soft penalty through Henshaw for being offside not too long later, which Argentina duly opted to go for the 3. Why not? You kill a minute of the yellow card and you get 3 points on the board. So 12-3 at the end of the yellow card period. Not a bad return for the Irish guys, but then too many silly penalties conceded from an Irish point of view, you feel. Like the offside one is one that counts. It's not one you want to be giving away, especially when you should be trying to, extend that lead when you've got the extra man on the field. More relentless Irish pressure, though, looked like Byrne had gone over in the corner, but that one gets chalked off because he loses it forward just over the line. If that one goes over, you feel like Ireland maybe run away with this game. But not to be. Good defence from kind of Sinti and somebody else to make the kind of final tackle. And then TMO gets back involved. This time it's Ireland under the spotlight. Beelum with a croc roll. Fair enough. I mean, we saw it last week with Scotland. That was more like a falling on the limb card that saw a Scottish guy red carded. This time it's a yellow card for Beelum for a croc roll at the clean out. You can't be doing that. They have got a real focus on it. So TMO did well to spot that one. And Argentina opted not to kind of try and push with the extra man advantage. They just wanted to halve the deficit they'd been down. So they go from 12-0 down. They slot that penalty with the Beelum in the bin. And 12-6. So certainly back within striking distance. Although they did concede kind of a silly penalty of their own not too long later when Oviedo kind of a half lifting tackle on Doris. And interestingly, Ireland, despite the fact they got the man disadvantage with that penalty, they opt to go for touch. The lineup was loose, and they did go through some phases. It was kind of a little bit scrambly. But then they kind of opted to revert. Like Crowley was just like, bugger, let's just go for a drop goal. So he kicked the drop goal, which was good to see Crowley, especially in the first half, really take the game by the scruff of the neck. It wasn't quite the same in the second, but he was looking confident, like bossing the game. So 15-6, Ireland are ahead. Not a bad one to score 3 points during the yellow card of your own. It's what Argentina's done in the reverse when they had a man in the bin. So that at least, softens the blow of the yellow card. Although that being said, Kelleher with a really soft obstruction penalty is what I'm talking about. Like really frustrating stuff. Andy Farrell would not be happy on the review of this. Soft obstruction when McCarthy's on a carry means Argentina can once again opt for a three-pointer. I mean, at that point, Montoya was off the field. It was Malia who had to make the call, but he's like, let's keep that scoreboard ticking over. So 15-9, back to being game on. Yellow card for Bielan finishes 6-3 in Argentina's favor. A lot of points scored. More than half the points of this game were scored during the 4 yellow card periods of this game. Keenan had a great catch off the restart, meant Ireland were able to go 15 phases on attack, which was a good bit of pressure. But Iskro then gave away a really soft penalty. He's got a little bad knack for that. Iskro, he's like pretty good in the air sometimes, does some good things, but yeah, a bit of a soft penalty of their own. Playing Gibson Park at the back of the ruck. Ireland go for touch, maul phases. Argentina win a turnover at the breakdown. They did pretty well to hold, to be fair, although from the resulting exit doesn't go very far. And then Ireland are able to get their third try of the game. This one is it's a line out. Henshaw and Lowe combined. Lowe goes pretty close, and then Gibson Park with the pass to McCarthy sends him barreling over. So yeah, Ireland are looking like Ireland, man. 22 points to 9. So despite some soft penalties both ways, I still feel like Ireland are looking like pretty decent value for that lead. Although that's the final scoring for Ireland, so they won't be particularly pleased with that aspect. Go through the entire second half scoreless. And interestingly, from this point, Argentina seemed to have changed tack because they decided to opt for touch from their next penalty. They get a 5-meter line out, maul, phases, advantage held up. They go again, advantage again, cross kick not gathered, yellow card warning for Ireland. Ireland really 2 penalties conceded. Third time the Argentinians go for the tap. Doesn't work out for them. The Irish defence holds. They win a turnover. So 22-9 at halftime. Ireland are looking like, as I said, still the better of the two teams. Like you look at the stats, they've had more territory, they've had more possession, 3 line breaks to 0. They've had more turnovers won, 13 defenders beaten to 7, 240 run meters to 111. Ireland should go ahead and probably run away with this one. Not run away with it, but they should win by more than a try. That's what I'm thinking at halftime, but I am dead wrong. Second half, Argentina start with a load of phases. They eventually, the Irish guys... they eventually win a penalty at the breakdown, but the Irish guys are able to kind of disrupt the Argentinian line out, so kind of a get out of jail for the Irish defence. Second chance, though, and it's proper game on. Argentina score their only try of the match. It's Malia with the line break. He beats 2 guys after Argentina's 10. Albanaz pops him the ball, and then he's able to kind of get past Hansen, who was in a difficult position, but the wee stutter step from Malia goes over for a hell of a try, 22-16. And then you're wondering how's Ireland going to react to this sudden bit of like, damn, we've been in a winning position, and once again Argentina's brought it back to a pretty close scoreline. Start making some errors. Crowley, he kicks it out on the full. There's a soft penalty conceded later for a push off the ball. There's an offside penalty, and then eventually that's the one that kind of breaks the camel's back in terms of the ref having enough of the Irish penalties. McCarthy cops a yellow card with the team building up the penalties, so Argentina opt for the 3, 22-19. That's the final scoring of the game, and we've still got a lot of game to go. To be fair, I don't know that Argentina managed the McCarthy yellow card very well. Like Ireland still made some errors. Hansen passed it into touch. Crowley got pinged for an early tackle on Albanaz in the air. Albanaz had a shot at a drop goal, which he missed. That would have tied things up. So a bit of a let-off, and the McCarthy yellow card finished with no further damage than the initial 3 points that Argentina took. So not bad a return for the Irish boys, to be fair. And interestingly, they pull Crowley at that point, they bring on the debutant Prendergast to see if he can kind of see out the match. Argentina gave away some soft penalties as well. Picardo in front of the kick gave away a penalty. Ireland didn't opt for the 3. They tried to push the advantage line out more phases, a bit slow, like 15 phases, but the ball was just not Ireland relentless, quick, fast ball. And you got to give some credit to Argentina for that. They were able to disrupt the Irish breakdown for sure. Eventually they get a big counter-up going after a Prendergast carry, so they're able to kick clear. The exit doesn't find touch, but then Ireland just kind of resort to an up and under, and Albanese is able to kind of take the mark in his own 22. So yeah, it wasn't really as sharp as you like from the Irish attack, especially in the second half. Like Osborne had a big break on 75 minutes, but then he got pinged for not releasing. Carreras had gotten over the ball. Where were the Irish kind of cleaners? 75 minutes, we get more TMO when Cordella gets carded for a bit of a stupid head-on-head contact clear-up with Doris. Was it shoulder to head? Either way, it was dumb. So he looked like he'd cost Argentina the match. Ireland did go 18 phases on attack at the death, but another Argentinian winning of a ruck penalty on defence held them out. That's what I mean about the Irish defence. Irish attack. Couldn't quite crack them, which was surprising. And then Argentina had to go through a lot of phases at the death as well with the clock in the red, a few half breaks, despite the fact they were down to 14 men. Eventually it ends with a bit of a whimper, with a knock on. So yeah, son, kind of a surprising one to see Ireland not able to score any points, as I said, for such a long period in that second half and the end of the first. Argentina could have won this one. Both sides, as I mentioned, were pretty upset with some of the penalties they gave away. They were kind of dumb, a bit soft. Cards as well. And especially with Paul Williams, because he is a real stickler for a lot of that stuff. And the eagle-eyed TMO. I mean, stats-wise, run meters finished 427, 293. So Ireland dominate that. They get more territory, 57-43. Possession finish is pretty even, 51-49 to Argentina. But second half, Argentina had 56% possession. So they kind of dominated the ball and hand stuff in the second half. But penalties conceded 13-6. Andy Farrell will not be happy with that again. 4 yellow cards, as I mentioned, 2 apiece. Argentina wins 6 turnovers to Ireland's 4. Remember, it was in Ireland's favour at half-time. So Argentina turned it on in the second half. Clean breaks 4-2. Pretty low in the scheme of things. Both sides' tackle numbers are pretty good. Both have 200 plus tackles. But, yeah, solid enough win. But maybe it just shows you that rank 3 and rank 5 in the world, there's not much between them. Josh van der Fleer, 24 tackles. Rubiola made 19. Juan Martín Gonzalez, 7 dominant tackles for Argentina. Ryan, that's James Ryan, 5 for the Irish boys. Ringrose led the way for the Irish attack with 68 metres and 5 defenders beaten. Dalgui had 6 defenders beaten. Malia had 52 metres. But yeah, only the 1 try for the Argentinian boys. If they'd got one at the death, it would have been a famous win. But in the end, it is Ireland holding on by a whisker. They got Fiji next, so it'll be interesting to see if Andy Farrell rings the changes for that game. And Argentina, I believe, take on France, which will be an interesting one. They'll have a bit of an extra rest ahead of that one, seeing as they'll be playing a day earlier than the French boys. But anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts on this one. Are Ireland in a bad spot at the moment, having only got a 3-point win? Or do you think any win over this good season Argentinian side is worth a kind of thumbs up? And for Argentina, do you think they should have won it? They didn't score as many tries, which, as my dad would say, is usually the indicator on who should win the game, but not always. You guys let us know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.